Can I see myself? What's up? What is this? Let me take it out. I knew it was backwards. I had the phone backwards, y'all. I am bugging, okay? All right, listen, y'all. Okay. Um, I decided I had to come sit and run my my damn engine for a little while because working in Lower Manhattan, the worst part about working there is the fact that I can't drive my car. I have to get on that bullshit train. But I'm gonna find a way to start driving. I gotta find a way, cause like I hate the train. Oh God, I hate it. Hold on, let me put these headphones in. Hold on, y'all. All right. Okay, they're in. Wait. All right. Okay. I got like the wrong headphones. These are some weird tech headphones, and they actually have to connect to my phone. So as soon as I put them in, they don't work. They do this click, click, click thing until it connects, and then it allows me to use the headphones, which I don't particularly care for, but I just gotta go buy another pair, and I've been pretty lazy about it. So, but anyway, I came today, right, because I see a disturbing trend happening in Black women YouTube that is really going to cause Black women to suffer. And I know you guys never want to listen to me because you feel like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not one of your favorite light skinned content creators, or I'm not one of your hidden favorite avatar gals that you don't really know if they're black. And more than likely, they're not. They're probably some foreign entity trying to go out of their way to influence you in voting in the election the wrong way, which would be for Republicans, which is would be totally against your best interest. And if you don't think that what I'm telling you is a matter of fact, just take a look at the census, take a look at other people in the Republican Party, that Green Lady, and quite a few other women and men who have been very open and candid about their hatred towards African American people and Black Americans on the whole, and how they feel like we're always in need of a handout, and that somehow magically we can't, within a system that has been created since slavery to tear us down and to keep us restricted, oppressed, and suppressed, we're not these magical millionaire business owners overnight. So, you know, when you listen to shit like Sylvester Zealot and her platform, and I saw a nosy neighbor lady reiterating that same shit that a lot of these women are doing, which is telling y'all to vote Republican. And the fucked up part about it is that unfortunately, I know y'all like to be smart and you say, like witty shit, like this is not an echo chamber, when actually it is. Because everything one person says that is utterly stupid, another person will say the same shit just to say it, thinking that they're cool and that they're worldly or they're hip with social events and keeping up with all of the things that are happening in the world. When it clearly when they reiterate nonsense, they're not. I even heard Cerebral doing that dumb shit because it's like, listen, there are quite a few things people are talking about online that are just stupid. And it's just utterly out here to disrespect Black women, tear us down with innate hatred and stereotypical beliefs about ourselves that we continue as a people. Like I lost count with the amount of women I saw today constantly trying to tear down a Black woman's character and trying to use the minority of Black women who are normally stereotyped in America to make us all collectively look like we don't have education, we don't have full time jobs, We don't know how to manage money. We're the worst mothers, etc. And you know that's not the case. Those people are the minority, small percentage of black women who are in this country. Because believe me, if the majority of black women were not productive, this country would not be productive. Okay? When it comes to the history of this country, black women were always in the forefront of every movement, whether we benefited from it or not. And that's the sad part about our reality is because we go out here fighting for everybody and everything else. And when it's time for us, like now, to fight for ourselves, we fall short. Like you got transgender people coming for your spot, trying to say that a man born biologically who wants to put on a dress and a wig, cut off his dick, introverted inside out, and have a fake vagina, he actually thinks that he can out woman a real woman. And black women of all women, the original fucking woman, the woman of all mankind. You really think you can get down like that when it comes to dealing with us? It is so sick out here. Then you have the other half of it. You have these black women. I hear this a lot on BZ's channel. I heard it on Cerebral's channel. I heard it on Nosy Neighbor Lady's channel. A couple of other people where they're giving out this stupid information about democracy, just voting for the Democrats and trying to make it seem like voting for Republicans is the easier or better thing to do when they are confusing and conflating information with just stupidity and fuckery. Number one, I will reiterate this again. Black women and people marching for Black Lives Matter was not the majority or sole purpose of having laws like in New York State, no bail, what is it? No Bail Reform Act. In other places, it's called different things or whatever. But that protesting is not what led to this. Okay, please stop believing those ridiculous fucking lies that people have been pushing and promoting on this platform since I can remember, like a year or two ago, right? Simply because remember that whole thing with Trump when they proved that the Russians were infiltrating YouTube and etc. They sway people to vote certain ways in the elections. Well, they're at it again, and you cannot tell me that the amount of black women that are on here reiterating stupid talking points is not because these foreign entities that have been allowed to intercept these social medias are pumping and promoting misinformation to get you to vote in white people's best interest. Let me explain what I mean. Now, and believe me, I know y'all never listen to me because I'm not no light skinned content creator y'all think is who you should be following, right? You know, I'm not talking about who they really choose or what does Princella do that or whatever shit she's doing. Y'all, but the fucked up part is when we're all fucked up and suffering, then you're gonna fucking understand what me and many other people have been out here trying to tell you. You got to see the truth and stuff and stop going for all the gaslighting that people are doing on this platform. All right, so with back to the no bail reform, right? That came out of, like I said, lawsuits going back like almost 15, 20 years, especially here in New York City, who I might add started that shit first, right? And I'm gonna tell you why it was. It's because of people like Anthony Baez, Eric Garner, and many other people who have been killed by police and other people who were not given due process, fair trial, the right to a speedy trial, and all these other things legally y'all don't know shit about. Because I know you don't know about those things, because if you did, you would never be out here saying that because people protested and this, that, and the other is why you got no bail reform. You know shit don't work like that, right? Here in New York State, the person that gets to sign off on that is the fucking governor, okay? So even though we have city council and the city council gets the pressure put on them by people like me who are their constituents, you have the mayor who can veto any goddamn thing city council wants to do and vice versa. And then you have the ultimate top dog who is the governor. And in order for that process to be, and I'm gonna give y'all the timeline, to have been approved in New York State, that shit happened in New York State just before COVID shut us all down. And I'll tell you why. Because New York City had paid out Trillions with a T. Trill. You hear me? Trillions with a T. To lawsuits because of people not getting due process, stagnating in jail because they didn't have enough money to pay their bail to get out of jail, the fact that their rights were totally disregarded because they were poor people. And if you, for all you people out there that like to listen to that shit that Cynthia does and all the rest of them, where y'all talking about coming with receipts and you don't believe shit unless it comes from a Pew Research, do your fucking homework. Go read and find out that what I'm telling you is the truth. And it had nothing to do with fucking movements and marches. See, that's that propaganda shit that divested zealot and then push on that black people hating channel she has over there. And I don't understand how you people could be so hoodwinked by shit that is going to be detrimental to you just because they guise themselves, whatever that shit is over there, whether it's a bunch of computers with black women's personalities or whatever, because I don't think those are real black women. I'm going to tell you that. I do not think so because the rhetoric that they speak is just like a fucking Klansman. Straight up out the Grand Wizard himself. I have met some really black hating people in my life, but never have I ever met black people that sound like that. So this is why I tell y'all, and y'all really are behind the times because you know computers are sophisticated like a motherfucker. And they have improved. Y'all remember Sika from BET years and years ago? The Avatar host that used to have her own video program plot. And she used to be, oh, girl, and oh, that's right, girl, and all that bullshit. You see how far they've come from an avatar like that? And even back then, she was magnificent. So you can only imagine today with deep fake and all this other shit they got out here that can actually have a computer turn into a person in front of you. And I mean that literally. The graphics and the way that they do the time, girl, stop falling for the bullshit out here. Please stop. Because the only people that's going to get hurt is going to be black women like you and me. Think about what I'm saying. You got us dying with black femicide. You got us getting beat in the street. I just saw another video today of some young dude walking up to a 59-year-old old lady. And not a strong, spry, she's just 59, but she can still whoop your ass type of black woman. But one of them weak, look like they've been drinking and drugging and fucking around their whole life type of black women that look poor down. He said good morning to her. And because she didn't say good morning back, he proceeded to go over there and beat the hell out of her. And they caught it on camera, the resident, the building camera. And now he's in jail. But this is the shit that's out here. And when you vote for people who are for all that type of stuff, right? And don't jump automatically to, oh, well, the fact of the matter is they get arrested and they get let back out. Like I said, when you don't know how this fucking country works, that bullshit narrative is what people believe. There are crimes that are non-arrestable. There are crimes that are non-photographable. There are crimes that do not get bail. There are crimes that immediately get bail and get released. You got to know how every state works. Every state doesn't do the same shit with their arrest process. So when you make these stupid ass blanketed statements, this is what is fucking up the minds of black women. And you're going to fuck around in November and you're going to put the wrong people in office and you're going to be out here living literally on the street, no fucking jobs to get, and no one to help you because it's going to get bad out here. I'm going to get to that in a minute because I really want to explain to y'all how the immigrants are fucking up New York City. And I mean fucking it up. And I've heard dumbass black women on YouTube today talk about how we shouldn't be complaining about them coming into our neighborhoods and how they delusionally think that these people coming into our neighborhoods are all upstanding people that are here to do the right thing and that they're actually looking to partner up with black women, raise a family, and take care of black women like they're queens. Y'all are sadly mistaken with that shit, but I'm going to tell you that towards the end of the video. So, getting back to all the stuff I was speaking about earlier, right? Okay. So I covered the thing about the Nobel reform, and I know you're not gonna believe what I say because you rather listen to a fucking avatar on a Klansman's fucking platform that talks about black women and black males as if we're not even human beings, okay? And you actually have allowed yourself to be convinced that this is a black woman who's looking out for your best interest. Ooh, God, man. So now let's move to the other lie that I saw on Cerebral's channel that she's pushing. Now, she had a clip of Donald Trump, right? And a lot of people are pushing this clip because they want him to be president again. That's not really something you want, but okay, do it if you want to. You will definitely cry afterwards because that motherfucker just got indicted on 3 more charges. So he, what is happening is the government is doing that to him because they do not want him to run for office. I'm going to tell you why they don't want him to run for office. Because you see how you got people like DeSantis, and there are other people that governor in Texas and etc. who really are literally using their pen to write in laws that hurt black people. If you get the big clown in as president, I'm talking about Trump, all those people go into office in every state that you live in, and not just bullshit levels of states. The way the Republicans roll is they like to put their maniacs in the highest offices of their state so that they could take away your job, take away your livelihood, take away where you live, your ability to live, your housing, your education, everything. So if you down for going back to the plantation or you down for being in extreme poverty, cool. But it's not going to be a good thing for you, okay? And you can see that going by if you study his last term and only term in office as president, you will see that a lot of social services and social programs for the upliftment and most importantly, inclusion of black people into America's infrastructure and for us to be enfranchised the way we should was cut drastically with his entire term. You know, since y'all so good with wanting to, show receipts, go do your fucking research. Go read it. Because that's the type of stuff you should pay attention to when people are in office. Okay? Not only that, do y'all forget that the majority of the things that are taking away our liberties and our freedoms are coming from the Republicans that are on the Supreme Court and all their other little local crony Republicans who are pushing them and trying to pretty much blackball and blackmail them into taking away all of the rights away from women. Y'all better pay attention to what's happening in this country instead of the stupid narrative you pushing on YouTube, because we're going to be the ones to suffer because no one cares about what happens to us. So if we don't start caring about each other, you're going to be in a bad position. You think you out here getting attacked in the street and these black motherfuckers are allowed to kill you in your home and nobody gives a fuck about it? Just let all them Republicans get into office. Not only will this country turn into a fucking dictator state, but you're going to be up for grabs and there will be nowhere for you to turn to get any type of help. Let me tell y'all a story that you should remember. Where was that black lady from? I think she was from Tennessee or Texas. She had 3 daughters, if y'all remember her. She left her 3 daughters home. She got 6 kids, but she left her 3 daughters home with her cousin that had been living with her for over 2 years. The one that took her girls out into the woods, beat them, strangled them to death, and sexually assaulted them. That black motherfucker never went to jail. He never was arrested for that because she lives in a county in Texas where the white people don't give a fuck about black people at all. They don't enforce the law. They don't do anything. They don't give a fuck what happens to people in that community. So that's only an example of what would happen to you if you keep allowing all these fucking racist white crackers into every office in every state. They're going to take, it's going to be like anarchy out here, especially for black women. It will literally get to the point where if you don't go outside strapped with a weapon every day you go outside and kill or be killed, that's just how it's going to be. But y'all keep listening to white people. You keep listening to these white influenced and white assimilated black women on YouTube telling you all this shit, and you're gonna see. You're gonna find out the hard way. So let me get back to what I was talking about. So with Trump, right? They keep showing this clip about him lying, and he is literally fucking lying about the fact that the U.S. dollar is going down, and it is because of inflation, this, that, and the other thing. And and then he also talks about the immigrant part. That's that's the racist, race baiting, hate mongering part that he sells to people to get into office. All right. So let's do the money. So when he talks about the fact that the dollar is going down and it's because of the deficit and the things that are happening here in America, that could not be further from the truth. All right. Now, yeah, today, right, Fitch, I don't know if y'all know what Fitch is. They decided that the U.S. credit was going to go from a triple A status, which is really good, to a double A plus status, which is not so great, but it's still not terribly bad. So anyway, and you can look it up. If you go into Yahoo Financial News, this was the huge topic today, right? Okay. So now the reason Trump is lying is because he realizes that the majority of people on YouTube, and you know how I told you, they all monitor the black people on YouTube because collectively, the black women in the black community are the hugest voting bloc that all these people use as their like default voters and people that they need to pull them into office, right? So he goes on to try to make people feel as if he was president, things wouldn't be as bad as they are now. Not true, because how many of y'all know that there's a thing called the World Bank? Are y'all aware of that? How many of y'all out there know that for the past 2 years, you hear what I'm saying? 2 years, the World Bank has allowed every country in this world to throw their hat in the ring for their currency to become the next universal currency. Right now, and has been for a very long time, the US dollar has been the universal currency in the World Bank, meaning the American dollar is what every other currency compares itself to in the world. Did you hear what I said? In the world. So when the World Bank decided, okay, America, y'all have had your turn for quite a long time, right? Now I think it's time we let somebody else get a chance. So they came up with an acronym. I can't remember it right now. Of the 5 top major players, countries in the world that threw their hat in the ring to go up against America. I know one was China, Russia, India. Who else is in there? It was India, China, Russia. Those are the main ones. Who else? I'm sorry, I'm pulling the blank, right? But you get my point. It was 2 more countries, Brazil, and one, I can't remember the other one. And more are coming every day. So that's the part that he always conveniently leaves out when he talks about how the dollar is losing its value and what's going on in the country. It has nothing to do with the president in America per se. It has to do with what the World Bank is doing and the fact that people in other countries, because if y'all go look this up, all you receive people, right? The continent, not country, continent of Africa has already decided that fuck the American dollar and fuck America. And as a matter of fact, while we're at it, for a lot of countries in the continent of Africa, fuck all those Western people that do nothing but abuse us. They don't use our money anymore the way that they used to. So the fact that they don't use our currency and they're only using their own, and they're not allowing people to, what do you call that, convert the money, the U.S. dollar is losing its value seriously in a lot of places all over the world. Okay? So that is why the dollar is doing what it's doing in America. It has nothing to do with that bullshit he's talking about. But because he knows you don't know that, he uses that shit to spin it And for people like DG and me seeing Cerebral do that shit when she doesn't, they don't know it either. Or if they do, they're leaving that out of their talking points and their scripts. This is what they're trying to get people to believe. And since most black women that come on YouTube, they don't independently think, right? They follow everything Cynthia says. They follow everything this new girl says, Princella, and whomever else is out there. So, your relationship woman, the one y'all can't let go of, that keeps telling you how to play men where you're gonna end up dead. You know her. Y'all listen to all those chicks, despite what the facts of what real life is telling you every fucking day in your face. But yeah, keep going. Because, I don't understand why black women are allowing themselves to have such fucking low self esteem that you believe you need to be bothered with black males, period, when you don't. It would be better for you to separate yourself completely from them in order to work on coming together as women to get political movement so that our needs and some of our concerns be met. You see the way Biden immediately gave Asian people that executive order because white guys and black guys were beating the fuck out of Asian people all over this country. Now I know when they show you the news clips, it's always the same shit. They always only showcase the black guys beating up the Asian people. But let me tell you something, being a New Yorker from New York City. The majority of the fucking people that got their ass beat in New York City, Asian people, was by white men. Okay? Not black people the way that they show you on the news. Because don't y'all ever think shit is funny? That when you watch the news, they never show you the crimes that white people commit? That shit never crosses your mind? That the news is always so very one fucking sided? This is New York City. We got gangsters and all types of shit live here. The mob, all that shit, and you never see them motherfuckers on television. You never see them getting in trouble on the news. It never crosses your mind that shit is something ain't right about that. That all they ever show is black people. Y'all, this is what I'm saying. Like y'all don't think, and you get hoodwinked and gaslit by every fucking thing and everybody out here. And then when somebody comes and tries to tell you, be careful of the shit you listen to and what you want to believe because it's gonna fuck all of us up in the long run. It really is. So, getting back to it, right? If you separate yourself from them fucking morons, right? You have the power because people already know this about us. It's up to you to start believing it. When we mobilize and we go into solidarity to make a movement towards something. And thankfully and hopefully it will be about us this time. People can't deny us because they know we are the type of people that will keep doing that shit until time ends. We won't stop. That is how we got to where we are so far. So if you come together on things that are important for black women, you will get some progress. But if you keep slowing the progress down by adding in shit that concerns black males who never support black women, who are not concerned with the lifestyle, the health, the welfare, or anything about black women, you're only hurting us. And you're empowering people who don't give a fuck about you and who will throw you under the bus and do everything to you, including kill you for a white person to have more privilege than they already have versus you. What was the other stupid shit I heard them saying? They just saying so much dumb shit on. Oh God, they keep trying to make it seem like, oh well, the Democrats are in control, so shit is crazy because they're in control, and if Republicans get in control, things will be better. How? That's not true. We already saw what happens when Republicans are in control in Florida. All those Hispanic people voted for that white motherfucker because they were anti-black, thinking they was gonna get something more than black people. What did he do? Laugh and smile in their face to get their vote? Turn around and start kicking them out the country, taking away their jobs, evicting them, putting them in jail, deporting them, putting them in detention? Come on. If you pay attention to what is really going on in life, all the answers are right in front of you. What was the other thing they said? Oh, they were talking about how there has never been any president that has really done anything for black people. I beg to differ. If you know American history, you know that the only president that actually tried to do things for black people was President Johnson. Okay? Now, since President Johnson, the only thing Biden has actually done in his term was to actually meet some of the demands that black people put on him to appoint black women in places where we have never been appointed before, ever in the history of this country. You can go fact check that because that's true. But this is some of the things that I'm talking to y'all about, that when you don't know what's really going on, you fall prey to all that shit that they're pushing on this platform. That is only going to hurt us. Now I'm going to get to New York City and this whole shit about the immigrants, because I live here, work with them, and deal with them every fucking day, okay? Okay, so as y'all know, when they come into the country and they're in those southern states, once again, those Republican governors are putting those Hispanic people on buses because the majority of them are Hispanics. They're not letting in the majority of black people that's trying to get in. They're not letting in a lot of the Asian people that's trying to get in. It's mostly Hispanics, and the white people never have no problem. Okay? So when they come to New York City, they're coming here to where I am, in particular, straight to Manhattan. They're coming to 42nd Street, and this mayor has buses. Well, right now, as I speak, he said they can't come no more. That's supposedly what he said. They still trickling in. But anyway, before he said this, which was a couple of days ago, after he went to Washington, and he went to Washington first to beg for money, and then he had an appointment with the president to try to get money directly, and it didn't work out. So now he's like, fuck it. They can't come to New York City no more. However, New York City has laws, because it's a harbor state, that he can't literally stop them like that. So because the city council really can't stand him here, right? They fight him all the time. And so what is happening now is that they're vetoing the majority of the stuff that the mayor says, just so these people could come here anyway. Even though they know that the more those people come here, they're backlisting citizens of the country that are already waiting for services. And the majority of those people are black women with children, old Asian people, other people of color with children, and they don't give a fuck. Now, what they're doing when they get here, and then y'all can Google this, since y'all with the receipts and all that, right? But don't never know what the fuck is going on in the world. When you look at Manhattan, where they're actually housing a lot of them that come here at the hotels, there's no space for them. So these people are literally sleeping outside on the street in sleeping bags, on top of cardboard boxes, sheets, comforters, whatever that. They are overdosing, using drugs, and dying in cars. They are doing things in society and in public they shouldn't. Pissing and shitting, right? Washing up, having sex. A lot of these people that are coming here, for all you pro immigrants and all that, they have records. They have backgrounds of messing with children, doing all types of shit criminally. Now, when Trump had said this, he was right a little while ago. But the way that they're just letting anybody in here without checking their background or anything, as these people come into New York City and they're actually being put through the system, all this shit is coming out. And I've been told y'all, I work for this city. I read the reports of a lot of this shit. I have to speak on the phone to people who deal with this shit. So I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, all this kind of stuff is what the news does not report on. They'll have you believe that all these people that come in here, get busted in New York City and wherever else, are fucking angels that are just coming here for asylum. And the big bad mayor and the big bad president and everybody else is just giving these wonderful fucking flowery people such a hard way to go, when nothing could be further from the fucking truth. Like, a lot of these people belong in the fucking jail cell, okay? And they're putting these motherfuckers around our children, the schools where our kids go. They're putting them deliberately in neighborhoods that are already impacted with poverty, lack of resources, because our mayor is fucking up the management of our city. And those are the things they're not really talking about when it hits the news. They're not talking about all that. They're just talking about the pretty or the strategic political talking points to get people to go, those Democrats are fucking up. We should take chances on the Republicans. Even though you're not paying attention to all the wicked and unnatural shit that the Republicans are literally fucking doing in your face. Did you ever question why are they putting them on buses? Do they have the fucking authority to do that? One, they don't have the authority to do that. I don't know why no one has taken them to court and made them stop, but they don't have the right to do that. Only the federal government can do shit like that. Then the other thing is they're putting them on the buses because those white people don't want those fucking people in their state. They don't want them in their areas that they live in, their communities. They don't want them nowhere fucking around them because they know all the shit I just told you that I literally found out about from my job because I read the report. These people got to be fingerprinted. These people got to be ID'd. They got to have background checks. This is when you find out all this horrific shit that's coming into our city on buses. So stop listening to that shit they pushing over there on DZ channel. Stop listening to that stupid shit the Rubio was talking about the other day, trying to push them the Republic. I'm wondering, are these fucking people getting paid to put out this bad message on YouTube or what? Because when you see people who are literally, do y'all know the state of Florida right now? Do you know what's happening there? I don't think y'all do. That's a place that thrives off of tourism and conventions, especially in the summertime, right? Nobody's going there. And do you know why they're not going there? Not because of the Hispanic people, because of the fact that what that governor is doing is showing to the fucking world that the level of prejudice, intolerance to other human beings because of the fact they're not white is what all the world is seeing. They're literally have been on different news medias, not the general ones that filter and lie and only show you the shit for white folks. But when you go on independent news channels like Young Turk, what is it? What is that shit? Turk, Young Turks, I think it is. I forget. I'm subscribed to it. That channel, Al Jazeera, a couple of others, BBC, etc. They're literally showing you the clippings in the news where certain countries have said to their residents, do not go to America. And if you do, stay away from this state because of this situation with this governor. They are literally doing that in the world. So these are the people, and these are the white men, especially. Y'all need to make that shit click in your. These are the white, racist, traditional, conservative, fucking Republican dudes that are the grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren of slave masters, letting their true colors fly, letting their hate fly, so much so that other countries in the world are giving their citizens warnings about the state of Florida. You think I'm bullshitting? Just Google it. Just Google it. Or pick some countries and go on their website and look at the warnings that they have for travel to America. Look at it. Already, you know right away as soon as DeSantis started fucking with trying to whitewash real American history about slavery and disrespecting and dehumanizing black people further, the NAACP called for a nationwide boycott of Florida, rightfully so. That is an organization that is known worldwide, which is where a lot of this heat came from. So you got to think about what you're saying to black people, and you got to think about what you're asking them to do. You're basically asking them to vote for the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. What is wrong with y'all? And then you're using and disguising real facts about how this country works with bullshit. Like, oh, you went out and you voted for Democrats and you marched for Black Lives Matter, and now, as a result of that, you got the Nobel Reform Act. Not true. Not fucking true. And if you actually look for those receipts or do your homework, or maybe there's a Pew research about it, but it's not true. If you just go read the law, it will show you that that shit is not true. If you go research or read the lawsuits that were pending in New York State, because I can only talk about my state because that's all I know backwards and forwards. Those shits have been pending for quite a long fucking time for the injustices that were committed against poor people who had to go to prison. Okay? So that's why when the New York State Assembly told the governor, we made those changes. What COVID came like 2000, right? 2020. So they started making those changes in 2019. When they finally all agreed on it before COVID shut us down, they told her just most recently, right? Because she's afraid to lose the second term. Because I don't think she's going to get a second one. And I don't think Eric Adams is going to get a second one either. So she's trying now to pacify everybody. And she went back to them to try to talk about making more changes to the Nobel reform to appease people who have been bombarding her office. They told her, we're not going to do anything like that fast, because the changes that a lot of people want affect poor people. And you might not understand it now, and you might not agree with it. But believe me, if you are the one who's arrested and you're facing sitting in fucking prison, not prison, because you won't go to prison. Well, yeah, you will, depending on where you at. Because here in New York, if you live in the 5 boroughs, you're going to sit in jail forever, right? You're not going to go to prison. But if you live in Nassau and Suffolk, which is on the outskirts of the 5 boroughs of New York City, your ass gonna be in real fucking prison. They don't have jails in Nassau and Suffolk like they do in New York City. So when you get arrested out there, you go to the real fucking prison, and your ass is sitting in there with real motherfuckers that's in there for life, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're not built for that life, you might not survive it. So that is the reason why. That, plus a whole lot of other conditions that was happening in this state, made them go, we got to stop this shit, because people can't be sitting in jail and in prison forever because they can't afford bail. So when people are on here telling you that because people marching, etc., and they're mixing up the information and trying to make it fit their narrative, please stop being so stupid to fall for that shit all the time, every time. And just remember your history. And remember the events that led to what the fuck was going on. When people were out in these streets marching for Black Lives Matter, they were marching because of police shootings. And it was mad disrespectful once again to Black women, because a lot of y'all don't even know that there have been 177 fucking Black women that were killed by police all over this country just the same fucking way as Black males. But because they get no recognition, nobody brings them up, nobody rallies for them, nobody marches for them. But remember, when people were out in the streets marching, they were marching because of police brutality, police killing. None of that shit had any fucking thing to do with new bail reform. Do you understand me? And this is important because, believe me when I tell you, when these people are out here playing with your fucking mind and they're twisting the truth and throwing in a whole bunch of lies, when you lived the fucking experience, that is the most dangerous thing people can do to you, because once you fuck yourself up by putting people in office that are going to go in there just to destroy you, who do you have to blame for that? And most importantly, where the fuck you running to get help? You already see that white America is out for like annihilating everybody to hold on to their control in this country. They done took away Roe versus Wade. They took away affirmative action. I told y'all, pay attention to that fucking decision that came after Roe versus Wade. You think I'm bullshitting? The alphabet people are next. They got this shit all chronically lined out in the decision. You read all the shit Clarence Thomas wrote. You read everything that fucking Asian motherfucker wrote, with Scalia, whatever the fuck his name is. Read everything they wrote in their decision. Those two pieces of shit are the ones cutting everything out. They're acting like there are no other people on the fucking board with them or on the court with them. They just doing what the fuck they want to do, and everybody's allowing them to do it because we're voting for this bullshit. And I'm telling you, so far in 3 years, you guys have voted and allowed them to take away things and rights that people have died for 20, 30, 40 years to get. But because you like some old nasty talking bitch that's on a damn YouTube channel hiding behind an avatar pretending to be a black woman, that's always spitting out shit about black men that makes you happy, and talking such vitriol shit towards black women that makes you happy. You're not looking at the bigger picture. You're not looking at the fact that if I let this shit poison my mind and I vote the wrong way, my life is fucked up, along with every other black person in this fucking country. You may not give a fuck about it now, but when we back to the point where in the 90s when I was a cop, they could throw your ass up against the wall, frame you, put shit in your pockets, or just lock you up for an indefinite amount of time just because they got the ability to do that, you're going to think twice about that shit. Or when you walking down the street and you live in a community where anybody could do anything to you, even breaking into your house, and nobody cares about it, like what they did to my woman in Texas, where her 3 baby girls were murdered, sexually assaulted horribly, brutally murdered. Not one fucking person was arrested. And they know it was the cousin. But because nobody gives a fuck, because they black girls and she's a black woman and it's black people in general, you'll care about that shit when it's your turn. This is why, despite all this fucking playing out here with these ridiculous racist white people pretending to be black women with deep fake and fucking avatars where you can't see if that's a real fucking person behind that shit, they out here constantly throwing propaganda at you to get you to vote white, to get you to vote anti-black, everything to fuck yourself up, and you going along with it willingly, without even taking a second to think, is this shit right? Am I doing the right thing? Am I even thinking about this shit wholeheartedly or clearly? You just jumping on the bandwagon and going along with anything these fucking people spit out. And it don't make sense, because a lot of this shit, you have lived it in your life experience. You've been here for the decisions of the Supreme Court. You've been here to know that this fucking governor and a few other governors from Republican states have taken away diversity and inclusion. That means that you will not get hired anymore if a white person goes, fuck you, we don't like you anyway. The only way it can be enforced is if that company receives federal funding under Title VII, I think it is, and in some categories, Title VIII. Who knows that walking on the street, everyday person? Who the fuck knows what things are covered under Title VII and Title VIII when it comes to hiring people and what companies participate or get funding from the government? Who the fuck knows that? So this is what you pigeonhole yourself into stupid shit when you listen to people being so anti-black, so black woman hating on this bullshit ass platform that you black women can fucking annihilate in a day if you just start exercising independent thought and saying to yourself, you know what? Fuck you too. I'm gonna turn this motherfucker off for 3 whole fucking days and watch this bullshit crash the way it should. You got that ability to do that. You have that fucking power because you are that fucking powerful in this country. I've been telling y'all this forever. Your spending power is crazy. Your political power is crazy. Your influential power is insane. You could change things. You could make things work in your favor. You got to first change this. You got to stop believing all this negative shit on here that is ever said about you. Change the way you move in this life. Change the way you feel about yourself. And then you go out and you fucking start demanding shit from this country. I'm telling you. Because if y'all keep going the way y'all going, with all this anti-black women bullshit on YouTube, you're gonna end up worse off than your fucking foremothers were in slavery. And you're not gonna understand none of it until the shit is already done and the deal is signed and sealed. That's where the fuck you heading. Y'all keep thinking these people on here are intelligent. Y'all keep thinking these bitches are smart. They know what they're talking about, and they're the dumbest bitches I have ever seen. I mean, all of them. Okay? They don't know how politics works. They don't know how the government works, and they damn sure don't know how this country moves. Because if they did, none of them would be on here saying no dumb shit like, oh, you out here marching and protesting for one thing, and then you get the result another thing. Nobody would be saying no stupid shit like protesting for Black Lives Matter got you the Nobel Reform Act. Nobody would be saying that because one thing does not equal the other. Now, what should have happened from Black Lives Matter protests and etc. should have been a correction in the disciplining and the firing and putting the imprisonment of police that violate their fucking jobs and their rights of everyday citizens and anybody else. They come across that they just voluntarily want to kill that day or think that their actions or whoever they are feel like they're above the law. Now, that's what should have happened. And I'm going to literally tell you, being an ex-police officer myself, when you're out here fighting about police brutality, that doesn't come in the form of changes in the court system. What the fuck does that have to do with the police? The way you change the way police conduct themselves is you got to hit those motherfuckers where it hurts. What hurts police is having to answer for their fucking actions, okay? Believe me, I know. I, back in my days, have gotten more than enough fucking CCRB complaints, okay? Some warranted, some completely full of shit. But the way you hurt a cop is you take away his livelihood. You take away his authority. You put that motherfucker in jail when he commits a crime. I told y'all before, there are several states out here that give police officers indemnification. Go look that shit up. In New York State, they have that here, which is why you could protest all the fuck you want. You could scream, yell, and do everything you want, and they're never going to get in trouble. And you get them in trouble is you take it to the fucking lawmakers. You take it to your representatives who are in control of that. And you tell them, we want these motherfuckers to be held accountable for their actions. They're not above the law. They don't get to go outside just because they got a job to protect and so-called. How did the slogan used to go for us? It used to be CPR, right? Courtesy, professionalism, and respect. So, protect and serve. So they don't, when they don't go out here and they don't do that, they don't get the right to fall back on indemnification, right, from the state and just say that that's my license to kill. Because that's the reality behind the shit that's going on. And once again, I'm telling y'all, when these dumbasses that y'all are listening to on YouTube don't talk to you about that, when these Republicans that are out here and Democrats that are out here talking about they're on the people's side, Al Sharpton and etc., who don't bring that shit up to show you how to literally attack the changes in police behavior, they're not on your side, and they're about bullshit. They're about gaslighting, and they're about giving you bullshit information to pacify you back the fuck to sleep so shit can go on like it normally does. So please, listen to me when I'm telling you. Everybody that keeps preaching that bullshit on here about marching for Black Lives Matter and etc. led to the no bail reform and all the shit that's going on in this world, and how when people get out of jail and they commit crimes, they let out to commit crimes again. That is bullshit. Bullshit. You know full fucking well because you were here for it. I was here for it. All those marches were about police brutality and changing the way the community and the police interact with each other. Stop acting like you don't know what the fuck is going on where you live and in the world that you are in. Stop it. And stop letting these slick talking, goofy motherfuckers make you see reality in another way. See it for what the fuck it is. Remember what the fuck happened. What's wrong with y'all? This shit is just too stupid. It really is. And if I can guarantee you, if you look up the laws in every state concerning police, you're going to see some form of indemnification where they pretty much have a license to kill that you don't even fucking know about. Because that's exactly what it is here in New York State. If the everyday citizen challenged the police union, right? I don't even know if that asshole Lynch is still the president of the New York City Police Officers Association, but he's a fucking jerk. He came in when I was a rookie, and that motherfucker was instrumental in getting me fired. Okay, so and all of us that was part of that lawsuit in the NYPD versus LOA, the Latino Officers Association. He sold us all out and made it seem like we were all pieces of shit that deserved to be fired. And that's because he, and like everybody else that knows that bad cops exist and those cops need to be fired and they don't need to have any laws on the books protecting them, are in the bullshit together. They cover for each other and they good with the status quo of keeping the bullshit going. So I tell you all that for y'all to understand that. Stop listening to the crazy shit that these people are constantly fucking promoting and putting out here on YouTube, all this crazy propaganda about things, and start sitting your ass down and learning how shit really works to see the holes and the untruth and all that shit they out here spinning. Because you believing in that bullshit is only going to have all of us collectively vote the wrong way and have us throw our asses back in time more than a fucking 100 years with the laws and giving these white people the ability to fucking pretty much own us again. You better wake the fuck up because I'm telling you, they're taking away our rights every time you turn around. And the way you should be responding to it is out here rallying, flipping out on your fucking representatives to get their asses together to vote because they got the power to do it. Vote for term limitations for the Supreme Court because apparently all those fucking people are too old and don't think properly where they're fucking us all up and they're trying to go back in time. When you got people on the Supreme Court acting like women don't deserve rights and we shouldn't be recognized as human beings and that we're more suited for being pregnant, being fucked by some man and married to some man you don't want to be married to, it's time for them motherfuckers to go. And if y'all don't really understand that, and you on this motherfucking YouTube being more concerned with talking about bullshit ass relationships with useless, broke motherfuckers that don't have no future, you more concerned with that shit than fighting the good fight in this country to make sure that you retain your rights, you got a fucking problem and you need to sit your ass down and figure it out. And with that, I'm going to go to the grocery store, get my ass back upstairs and get ready for work tomorrow because I'm done. Because I'm just looking at all of you black women being led by the nose by stupid ass black women on this YouTube platform telling you to vote for white people that cannot fucking stand you and would love to take everything away from you and put that shit in writing and into law, and you are going out your fucking way to sign up for that shit. And you letting some rich, pompous, lying, criminal-minded fucking white man named Trump play you and gaslight you into thinking that he's your fucking savior. Y'all go ahead and do that bullshit if you want to. And when all the cards fall and you are in a worse fucked up situation than you are right now, and you have the same type of reality hit you, the way it hit the Hispanic Floridians who voted for what's that piece of shit's name? DeSantis, then you gonna know. Because I just sat here and reminded you. Should have triggered your mind that the shit they're telling you on here don't make no fucking sense. So you need to stop listening to it. Black Lives rallies, movements, marches, and even going far back to the fucking what's that shit we was doing in New York City? The 10% sitting on Wall Street and all that bullshit. That was all about making motherfuckers accountable for abusing poor people. And here y'all done let a couple of fucking channels make you lose your mind and forget what actually happened in the life that you live. And got you on here reiterating stupid ass talking points, taking one movement and combining it with something else that don't have shit to do with each other. Black Lives Matter for the last time. Rallying, protesting, fighting with the cops was about police brutality and police killing. Not no bail reform. Please stop that fucking shit on here. Please stop. Take the actual time, right, to learn in your state what the laws are and what the reasons were for them changing your bail reform. For New York State, it was because of all the lawsuits and all the injustices done to poor people who could not afford bail. Not Black Lives Matter. You got that shit? Because y'all about ready to vote yourselves into a fucking situation you're not going to ever be able to get out of. Y'all really don't understand what a fucking supermajority is, right? You're going to fuck around and find out. Y'all bugging. And you know what the crazy shit is? They're giving you little pieces of what they're going to do to fuck you up in front of your face, and you still falling for it. You saw what they did in Mississippi. You saw what they did in Texas. You saw what they did in Tennessee, Alabama, all these fucking places where the state had to sue, oh God, for tampering with votes, changing the legal system in these states, all to the detriment of black people. And you still out here letting these crazy fucking black people, crazy people that are pretending to be black women because you don't know who they really are, make you vote for Republicans who tell you every day, blatant as blatant can be, they're not fucking with black people. They don't give a fuck if you live or die. And you out here voting for them. Rallying and promoting and reiterating the same talking points that they have done themselves. Y'all are really fucking stupid. And you're showing the world you stupid by not sitting down and thinking and just following behind any old fucking thing that's going on this damn YouTube. I hope that some of the stuff that I said today actually triggers you to go and revisit the history within the last 10 years about what actually is fucking going on in the life you live. So you could get a fucking clue before you go vote and fuck your life up in November. Because that's what y'all doing. You're setting yourself up to fuck yourself up. That shit was so crazy today. To hear people say shit that they know is not true. Or if they don't know, they just reiterating dumb shit because they heard it from somebody else. Now, let me just bring up something that I gotta speak about. Okay, check it out, right? When I was listening to the Nosy Navy lady, because a couple of her videos have been pretty good. But then when I saw the one she did today, talking about voting for Republicans versus Democrats, and then talking about how no president has really done anything for black people, and what was the other stupid shit? It was three things I'm trying to remember. Because I commented on it. If you go on that video, you're going to see me on there. Anyway, I can't remember the third, but let me just tell you something. All right? Democrats, at least with them, you can kind of twist their arm to get shit done. Those racist white men, they don't give a fuck what you say. You give them an inch, they're going to take a yard. because you know what they think? And I put the video up to show y'all. I put the white man up. So for those of you that don't want to listen to what black people have to say, and you think we us black women are all fucking stupid, I put the white motherfucker up for y'all to hear it out of the white mouth that the reason they do the things they do is because they fear being subjugated because of all the fucked up shit they've done in this world. So if you sit down and you really think some white man, some Republican white man, who has made it clear that he don't like black people and nobody else, he's gonna get into office and look out for your best interest, you are out of your motherfucking mind. But you go on and vote like that. And when you get the consequences of that shit, make sure you thank yourself every fucking day for it. Okay? Because as long as you have a functional government, and when I say functional, you have bipartisan and you have a way to get in there and argue and fight for what you want, you will still have a chance in this country. But when you allow all white people to dictate for you what your rights are going to be, you're going to have a dictatorship where you find out that that fucking relationship is going to be very one-sided. But keep fucking around and find it out. Because y'all are bugging. Because when I hear y'all on here talking about Black Lives Matter is equivalent to no bail reform, I'm just like sitting here like, did they not live the same fucking life that I did and did not have that life experience where one thing had not a motherfucking thing to do with the other? I don't know what y'all are doing, but I know what you need to stop. You need to stop letting these people on these platforms turn your head around the wrong way. Okay? Because like I told you, those fucking avatars don't even have to be real people. They're most likely fucking computers and foreign entities trying to sway your fucking head to get you to vote for racist white people so that you don't have nothing in your fucking life. But you keep on playing around and you're going to fuck around and find out. Keep playing. Keep playing with these fucking people and you're going to find out exactly how fucking savage they could be. Keep playing with them. You got all these examples in front of you and you keep acting like that shit has not really happened. Oh my God. Let me get out of here. I can't. I want y'all, whatever state you come from, please learn how to go on every single website for the government and watch how every fucking representative voted on issues that concern you. Everything from how much you get paid in a year, your ability to get a job, education, housing, everything, even how much shit costs in the grocery store. Go see how all of them voted on things that affect you every day. Then you take your informed ass to the polls in November and vote the right fucking way, regardless of the party. If y'all don't fucking wake up, we're going to be back on the plantation. Do you understand that? Have a good day. I got to get out of here. Good night. I can't. It's too fucking crazy. It's too crazy. Oh, before I go, there was this shit. I did say something that she said. It kept fucking with me about the president who never helped black people or tried to do anything for black people. This is when it really shows that none of these people know American history. They don't know shit about the presidents that came and went, and they damn sure don't know anything about American policies. President Johnson was, in my opinion, one of the only presidents that actually tried to put programs together and help black people come up to somewhat be in the running with white Americans. Okay? And he did that as a result of a lot of the information he was getting from different senators all over the country, which led up to that bullshit ass Monahan report. Okay? So when motherfuckers don't know American history, you need to tell them stop talking on YouTube. Okay? Google is free. If you don't know what president did what is it going to take, 15 minutes to read some shit? Y'all are really killing me. I can't, because you're going to fuck around and fuck black women up. We're supposed to be preparing to be strong and go hard for a fucking march in October to represent the fucking foul killings and abuse that happens to black women and girls with the Black Femicide March. And here y'all are trying to set all the black women back by listening to these silly ass black women on YouTube telling you to vote for white Republicans that don't give a fuck about how you live, if you got a job, and if you got a roof over your head. If y'all don't get out of here with this bullshit, I don't know what else to do. And then you sitting here letting fucking avatars and motherfuckers that you don't even know are real people and stupid real ones tell you to vote for white racist men that you have seen how they play out their hatred on what they did in Florida, on what they did in Texas, on what they did in Alabama, what they did in Tennessee, what they did in Mississippi. If y'all don't get out of here with this fucking stupidity, blatant fucking stupidity. I listen. Good night. Please think about the things I said. I really don't like that we are being really stupid people and that we are getting stupider every year. I think a lot of black women need to take a week off from YouTube, put your head staunchly in world events and all the news you could get from every state for a whole week and then come back to this bullshit. And I guarantee you, your outlook as to what you hear on here will drastically change. Have a good night. Please consider that a suggestion. Good night, y'all. Be safe out here. Know that these people are getting overly violent towards these black males, are getting overly violent towards black women because the majority of us who think we are waking up and we are not dealing with them motherfuckers. We don't give a fuck about anybody on here telling us that we need to look out for the future of black people because we know better than that. As long as black women are good, they are healthy, and they are productive, black people will never die. We are the beginning, be all and end all of all mankind. Once you straight, everybody else is straight. So please go live your life and do better. Good night.